Hi, welcome back. Let us start from the start. We are yet to start our workshop. This was just a prelude that we're experiencing. Now, the primary understanding of pure nature cure starts from here. The perceivable existence in the universe, whatever we observe around, that follows this principle of structure governs function. Everything actually came from the formless that has been proposed by many people many times in different uh, fraternity. It is being proposed. We also identify that the interaction between form and formless is very evident, and that gets converted to each other. uh, and the motion factor that we identify, that is the primary factor within the form. It is happening due to the formless, the motion factor. So the life form is that combination of vitality and the body. So vitality is that formless entity within the body that we identify, which drives the body, which actually makes this life as a possible. Now,
So, do you
in life,
mean to say that that is what makes the movement possible,
yes, yes,
the
movement,
vitality?
movement in the life is possible because of the vitality. Yes. Now, capabilities, common capabilities in life, common capabilities in life as proposed in Pure Nature Cure are repair, reproduce, and regulate. Repair, reproduce, and regulate. What does it mean? Repair means whatever goes out of balance, it brings back to the balance. That is a general capability of all the organism. It is not talking about only human being or Homo sapiens. It is common for all the organisms actually repair themselves on their own programmatically. So if it goes out of balance, it comes back to the balance. That's the primary capability. And the second capability is the reproduction. Reproduction means the organism reproduces itself. So this is again a common capability that we observe in life, in all the organism. And the last but not the least is the regulating capability. Regulating capability is not the enforced regulation we are talking about. Programmatically, organisms are regulated, self-regulated. Self-regulated means, just think about eating. You start eating any food, you need to stop somewhere, right? That stopping is that regulation we are talking about. You have to stop somewhere. You start something, you have to stop for sure. That regulation is the programmatic capability of all the organism. So these three, so under the regulation, we respond, we react, all these things come, right? So we need to identify these common capabilities in life to start our journey of understanding PNC: repair, reproduce, and regulate.
Kalyan,
Ah,
this three capacities,
yes, ma'am.
repair, reproduce, and regulate. Repair is universal. Reproduce also is universal. It's all the cells will repair and reproduce in the same manner. But the regulate this responding and reacting capacity is unique because every person reacts in a different manner, especially psychologically, neurally, how a person reacts to the situation. That is unique to
Yes,
every.
yes. So repairing and reproduction also is unique, ma'am. In that sense, if you observe. Now, regulating is not only the psychological regulation that we talk about, but the physical regulation also. If you talk about the metabolism that is happening in each cell, the entry of the nutrients and the exit of the toxin from each cell is regulated, well regulated, physically, physiologically also. Are you able to identify?
Metabolism of different individuals is so different. So
Yes,
somebody is slim, somebody is fat.
yes, yes.
Although they may be eating less, still they are not able to, they are
Yes,
fat
yes, yes. Yes, so repair reproduction is also
or
uniquely
unique.
happening. All the reproductions are not same, right? So all do have their unique. So like our fingerprint are unique. So
Unique.
all these framework is same, but the formula is customized by each individual, right?
Sir,
Ma'am, please.
I have one question, sir. In repair point,
Yes.
yeah, it is a general capability of the organism to repair. When if it's go out of its control or order, it can repair itself.
Hmm.
So, as we are like we have a high idea like with a chronic disease like cancer, AIDS. So, so is it the organism has the capability to repair all this chronic disease too?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the question, sir.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
all are okay.
All organisms do have the capability to repair, but every cases there is a point of no return for sure. If it
Okay.
reaches that point of no return, then it cannot be reversed for that specific individual. But if you look at the totality of the universe, then it is a progression and the repairing of the whole universe also. So death is also a form of repair in respect to the universe, because perishing that individual will improve the health of the universe itself. If the individual has reached a point of no return, then perishment of that individual will improve the health of the universe. Can we understand this? Because this is very difficult understanding to
I
identify.
how much yes, yes. I have touched this point and marked this point.
Yes.
That means what you are trying to say is that the perishable of a individual which will benefit the universe means it will allow the another organism to come.
I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm saying that if an individual is perishable, then it is a toxic load on the universe.
okay. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes,
Yes. Toxic load.
yes, yes. Right. Right. So another commonality in nature that we have already touched upon: efficiency, conservation, and symmetry. In every aspect of nature, we observe. Yeah, I request others to mute or unmute. Yeah. So efficiency, conservation, and symmetry. Try and understand this aspect. In every entity of nature, efficiency is seen programmatically. Nobody is working behind this is programmatically, this is structured. Everything in nature is structured to perform efficiently, and all the science accept this. Through observation we are proposing this, but scientifically it is an acceptance also. And what confirm this efficiency, the knack of conservation. When the energy within a form is conserved well, then it actually performs efficiently. Try and understand this term very minutely, that when the energy is conserved, the entity performs efficiently. Right? When these two things are confirmed, the entity is performing efficiently and it is conserved, because it is conserving energy, it actually attains a symmetry, attains a pattern, because that pattern will allow the entity to continue the conservation. So that is called symmetry. So these three things are commonly perceived on in every aspect of nature. Right? Now coming to that conservation aspect, because the primary aspect of symmetry and the efficiency both is the conservation. What we conserve the energy, and that energy is the vitality within the life form. The vitality is defined as the formless qualitative entity within the physical form. The formless qualitative, focus on each word being used here, the formless qualitative entity within the physical form of an organism which makes the organism alive. The formless qualitative entity within the physical form of an organism which makes the organism alive. The vitality within an organism is finite. This is very important. The vitality within an organism is finite but not measurable. Not measurable because measuring scales are different. Scales will differ and jeopardize complete objective. There is no objective can be justified of measuring this vitality. Yet an observable property due to its complexity of configuration. Why it is not measurable? Because it is configured in a complex way. In all those three layers, physical, physiological, psychological, the vitality is configured in a complex way. As human being, we cannot map and gauge the complete aspect, the whole aspect of the vitality. So it is not measurable, but it is a finite thing. Nobody can claim that his vitality is qualitative.
Formless energy cannot have any quality. It is having only one quality. Quantity is varies, as you said, it's finite, and the quantity can vary.
Yes.
But the quality of the energy being formless, it cannot have any. How can it have a quality?
Yes, within an organism, when we observe a vitality's the aspect of vitality, we find that the structure of the organism supports the quantum of the vitality it has within it. For example, the zygote, when the zygote gets formed, the vitality in it is actually defined by the quality of the structure of the zygote. The sperm and the egg, the quality of the sperm and the egg will decide the quantum of the vitality inside the zygote. So the quality is actually supported by the structure of the container of the vitality. So the performance of the vitality qualitatively executed, which is supported by the structure of the form within which it is housed at. Is it understandable?
Kalyan, I have a question here.
Sir.
Yeah, so when you say that when you make this statement that vitality is a kind of a formless qualitative entity, and although it has a finite amount, it exists in a finite amount within an organism, but it is not measurable. It's only observable. Does this also mean that we cannot supplement it in any way?
Yes. Yes.
It means
that.
Okay. So
we can just conserve it. We cannot supplement it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have some illustrations also on that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just kind of trying to derive what you're saying, and then from this derivation, it obviously means that, and if we just assume that this is true, then that means, I mean, all these kind of medicines and supplements which we are hearing about, they would actually never work.
Yes. It never works. What it does, we'll understand now. So,
okay.
Yeah. So the vitality within the body which brings life, the formless within the form which brings movement. So vitality within the body which brings life, and the formless entity within the form which brings movement. So vitality is that. As per physics, the energy is defined as the capacity of doing work, as per physics. And as per pure nature cure, vitality is the cause behind all the activities that a life perform. Just reread both the definition. Energy is capacity of doing work. Vitality is the cause behind all the activities that a life performs. Right? There is a similarity between these two definitions. So vitality is equivalent to the energy. Now, what are the influencers of this vitality? What are the influencers of this vitality in an organism? So we are now talking about the vitality in an organism and what are the influencers of this vitality. There are three influencers: genetic, environment, and lifestyle. Genetic, environment, and lifestyle. The genetic means the genes or the zygote, the health of the zygote is determined by the health of the contributing parents. So that will define or decide the quantum of the absorbed vitality in the zygote. When the zygote gets formed, the vitality is absorbed there inside, which actually forms the life. That is decided by the quality of the zygote, the structure, how the health of that zygote. So parents do contribute the sperm and the egg. The structure, the matter contribution comes from the parents. And that actually defines the kind of vitality that is absorbed in that zygote. So vitality is not contributed by the parents. It is absorbed by the zygote. That zygote's health is that genetic contribution from the parent side. So ultimately, the influencer of the vitality is the gene for sure. But can we undo this? Answer is no. My formation has been cast. Whatever is cast is cast. I cannot undo this. So genetic is identified. Obviously, genetic aspect is very much important to understand and important to plan for a baby. Yesterday, I was talking to a participant who is planning for a baby. So I congratulated her that it is the right time that you have started this journey or plan to start this journey, because you can contribute a lot by improving your own health by contributing a healthy sperm or the egg to form the zygote. Right. So genetic aspect is important when you are planning for procreation, planning for reproduction. But for my self-help, my genetic analysis is not that much needed because I cannot undo it. I cannot change my parents. I cannot change my parents' health going back to the past. Right. So genetic aspect is identified as an influencer, but it is least important for the self-help because I cannot change it. Now, environment is the next aspect. Environment, the surrounding, the quality of the surroundings is the environment. So,
Kalyan, I have a question here.
Sir, please.
You mentioned that obviously we cannot change the genetic make of our body basically, and because our vitality depends on genetic make as well. So essentially we are cast. Now we see a lot of experiments being conducted wherein they are trying to kind of figure out various you can say genome sequences which actually affect a lot of things in the body. Now at some point, if the scientists or the researchers, they are able to make these genetic changes, you mean to say that yes, we can still transform ourselves?
Yes. So we'd like to explore the purpose of doing it. What is the purpose of doing it? Is it some kind of assumption of changing some symptoms which is coming up in future, or as a preventive measure or something like that? If it is so, then we need to understand that all the symptoms are needful initiative of the body. Within the current structure, which is attained by the individual body, is well capable of managing its own process of living. if the conditions are conducive. So the changes in the gene which is being proposed by this gene scientist is a symptomatic approach ultimately, which has got a purpose of solving some assumed symptom.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So it is ultimately a symptomatic approach. It is not a curative approach for sure.
Definitely.
Cure is individual achievement through the vitality conservation. That is what we are going to study here. Yeah.
Yeah, but my point was that if basically my vitality depends on the genes which have been passed to me, and the vitality of my son will depend on the genes which are kind of passed to him, so or him or her, or so basically that makes it very kind of, you can safely assume that yes, if I can improve my vitality in some way, then that means also that will help in improving the vitality of my son or my daughter. That's also going. So in effect, you are kind of probably going to increase the longevity of a person, or maybe the kind of lifestyle one has in that particular structure which has been formed, and all that. I think probably these are the assumptions.
Yes, yes. So how that can be improved in an easier and dialectical manner without those part experimentation route, that can be understood by understanding the PNC proposals in
Okay.
totality, right?
Okay.
So the objective here, if it is to improve my to be daughters or son, then the proposals from PNC are very much effective to improve that, and very easily it can be achieved to give a healthy zygote, to contribute a healthy zygote to my procreated child, right? So that can be, so bring this question again tomorrow when we discuss about improvement of the health aspect again.
I'll bring that up.
Sir.
Thanks.
So the third factor is the lifestyle. Third factor is the lifestyle, which is, okay, the second factor actually I was talking. So environment is the surrounding, the quality of the surrounding, like the air quality, the access to the radiation, all these things. If it is not conducive, if it is not conducive means if it is not giving me fresh air, then I must change the place, and I can do something to change. But unfortunately, changing of the place for everyone is not very much possible. So we need to contribute to improvement of the environment as a community. As a community, we need to come together to improve our all approach towards the environment, and make the environment safer and more conducive for our vitality. Now, this aspect is community dependent. I cannot guarantee the fresh air by just planting few trees myself, because unless it is a community initiative, the environment cannot be bettered, right? So I can definitely change my place if feasible and go to a better place environment wise, but that's not, as I said, is not possible. So what else can I do? Do I have some aspect of improving my health, being in the same location and having a community which is not supporting the environment improvement? Because it is a common scenario for our all of us, most of us actually. Genetics I cannot change. Environment is not dependent on me to change. I can contribute my part to improve the environment, but that cannot guarantee me a safer environment. Am I understandable, guys?
Yes, it's clear.
right? So do I have some option to work myself individually, which can guarantee some improvement of the sense of life, which can guarantee some improvement in my health and happiness? The
And that you say
third,
is lifestyle.
yes, that is what is the lifestyle. The lifestyle aspect is completely in my control. So instead of criticizing the environment aspect, genetic aspect, blaming parents or blaming the environment community, if I focus on the lifestyle, then there are a lot of things can be improved on its own. We are trying to understand that thing, and the lifestyle has got 3 layers. We have already covered the physical, physiological, psychological. Physical means whatever is the movement, mechanical things which is happening, easily perceivable. Physiological is the chemical aspect inside what it is happening, the feeling, the emotion. These are all the physiological aspect. And the physical aspect is the action aspect, which we take action with our hands, with our action, which is easily perceivable, which I can claim for its existence. Now, psychological aspects as the impulsive, the neural impulsive, mental aspects, which is not visible. It is an ideated aspect, but it needs a lot of vitality. And we need to understand that where we go in loop of vitality engagement, if we do not understand the impact of idea. And that's one of the major topic that we'll pick up tomorrow, where we'll try and understand mind-wise how we can relax ourselves rationally and very logically and stepwise way. Right now, the vitality is that unique wallet where I cannot earn more because it is limited, it is finite. But the good news is I have enough, and I have enough. It is not an assumption. Why it is not an assumption? Because from a single cell zygote, I am a full form body now, and that has been executed and achieved by that vitality, the portion of the finite vitality that we had, right? So this is a good news for me that I have enough. If I can manage, so that wallet means you have a limited money. Suppose you have 10,000 rupees in your purse and you went to the market with a list of items to purchase. So if you purchase something unplanned, then your budget will be affected. If you go in a proper plan, and if you can curtail your needs by probing into it, by questioning it, then you can conserve a lot of money within that 10,000 itself, right? So this is a very important correlation that we propose, that you have a limited budget, but if you inculcate a conserving knack, then that budget itself will make you feel rich, right? So it's a few correlations that we will propose here. Vitality quotient. Vitality quotient is total quantum of the vitality, is a huge group of multitasking laborers within our body. It's a huge group of multitasking laborers within our body. That is the vitality quotient. Now some portion of the vitality is needfully engaged, which is that engaged labor force for some needful work. In a factory, suppose you employed some laborers out of that lot of laborers that you have to some needful work, breathing, digesting, like this. And there is some portion which are additionally engaged. Additionally engaged, like it's unimportant or avoidable things that they are doing. Maybe gossiping unnecessarily, or drinking in the office, drinking alcohol in the office. So you are engaging yourself in some food which is not needed for your health. You are engaging in some thoughts which is actually engaging a lot of vitality. So those kind of additional engagement of the vitality is the another aspect. So if you if you deduct these two aspects, the required engagement and the additional engagement from the total quantum, then some leftover will be there. Some leftover will be there. That leftover portion is considered as the conserved vitality. The disengaged multitasking labor force within our body, who are, you see that image, all have raised their hand. They're ready to work. They are very much eager to work, and anything, the vitality which help us to blink our eyes, the same vitality can help me thinking deep, or digesting, or breathing. So it's a multitasking labor force that we have, and the conserved portion is which is disengaged, which is not yet engaged. And that is the right now, whatever the energy that you are sensing within you is that disengaged portion of the vitality, the conserved portion of the vitality. Let's have some illustration of the vitality of a moment. This is a needful illustration to understand the whole concept of vitality. So suppose this green portion is A, the black portion is B, and red portion is C. So A plus B plus C is the total quantum of the vitality, in which this red portion is the needfully engaged vitality due to aging. As we age, the vitality gets engaged in a continuous basis, and which is not reversible. So this reversal of this is not possible. Reversal of this red portion, red will go up and up slowly and gradually. This will go only upside. The black portion is the additional engagement of the vitality, which can be worked upon and which can be reduced. So the moment we reduce the black portion, the green increases. The conserved portion of the disengaged vitality is this green portion, which we call sense of life also. The right now, whatever the sense of life that you are experiencing is this green portion, the conserved portion. So our objective now on will be to work upon this black area so that it can be reduced and the green portion can be increased, right? So
Kalyan, can you give an example here, like the C part, what you said that engaged vitality due to aging and it goes up and up. So
yes.
can you give an example here?
Yes. So example, so you as you age, the number of cells in the body will grow and the complexity of the cells also will grow, and that complexity of the cell will attract some vitality to be engaged there. In the process of increasing the number of cells and the complexity of the cell will attract extra vitality which cannot be reversed. Like the complexity as we age, complexity of the cell cannot be reversed unless it is, so one is the organic growth of the cell, other is the diseased growth. The diseased growth can be reversed, but the organic growth cannot be reversed. Are you able to understand this? The organic growth of the cell will attract some amount of vitality which is increasing slowly and gradually.
So, Kalyan, I have a question on this one, or rather kind of an inference from this one, that if we kind of, in some way, if we remain a child, we will live for 200 years because our vitality will be conserved. We don't really have more complex cells created and more kind of vitality lost.
I cannot give the number to this, but definitely the longevity is improved if we have lesser black portion, lesser additional engagement of the vitality. Okay. 200 is a kind of assumption, but yeah, definitely longevity can be improved. Organic longevity can be improved. Yeah, Nagalakshmi, your question was.
Yeah, it was on the example of the the red part, what you said that it increases with the
Yeah, which is irreversible. So some portion of the engagement of the vitality is irreversible. That's what is the proposal. Though these illustrations are again a tentative illustration, we cannot specify that this happens surely this way. Okay, I think the session is going to end. So what I'll do, without any silence, I'll relaunch the session for another 15-20 minutes. Then we'll break for lunch. Right? I'm ending the session. I'm coming back on the same slide without silence.